Hey everyone, it's Marcus, the author or conduit of Unbroken, Walking on New Ground. This is the 12th video so far around what's inside the book, and this is the first time I'm going to do a part 2. And this one is around life, death, and the fine line that lies between. Just a quick heads up, these videos I'm just shooting straight from the heart, no editing, no nothing, and sometimes I don't even watch them. I just feel good about it and post it. I thought a little bit more about what I was discussing in the last video about my near-death experience and the impact that it had on my life that day and for the days to come. And a story inside of the book, a very poignant story. And the reason I put it in the book was because it had come to my consciousness when I was laying face down in the water, preparing to die and making peace with my life. And I write about it. It's a brilliant man and a rare penny. And, you know, I'm just going to go ahead and tell this story. It's a good one in the book, but I think it's important to share the story that happened just, I think it was about 2 years before my accident, before my incident, and the lesson inside of it and why it came to my cognitive awareness while I was dying. And as I've stated before, each of the chapters start with a quote, have quotes in the middle, and end with a quote. And this one goes out to my boy, Intergalactic. In the realm of personal growth, the company we keep holds immense power. Be mindful of those who pull you towards the light, as their influence can shape the trajectory of your journey. Epictetus. And I want to say a big shout out to my boy Intergalactic for shining your light, for sending the daily prayers, and yeah, thanks, bro. So there I am, face down in the creek, preparing to die and trying to get myself into a high frequency to go wherever we go when this ends. I've always felt that if you're not in a good space that you might get stuck here, and I didn't want to be stuck where I was. And so, you know, my mind was racing. There's so many thoughts going through my head. I was running the whole gauntlet from the time I was a child, some of my best memories and some of my more difficult memories. Just a quick footnote of my life as I'm about ready to check out. And then a very interesting story experience came into my mind. And I was a salesman at a big dealership outside of Denver. And one of the most incredible individuals I've ever met in my life, a true mentor, N.D.E. He's a legend in the Denver area, or was definitely a legend back in the day. He was the number one Honda salesman in North America. The dude sold more Hondas than any Honda salesman in all of North America. No one could touch this guy's record. He was one of the most brilliant individuals I had ever met. He sold cars because he liked selling cars. And he wanted to be the best because he was always the best at everything he did. And that's just how he set his goals. Somehow they talked him into becoming a sales manager. And not to give too much details, but he could still keep his clientele base. He just would give the other salesmen the deal and they would do the deal, but he would still keep that client on his contact list. So one day we are having a meeting on Saturday morning, getting geared up for the big day. And Eddie comes in and he's going to give his first meeting, sales meeting, motivational meeting, whatever you want to call it. And Eddie goes around and he hands out a $100 bill to one person, a 50, a 20, a 10, maybe a 5. And then he comes over to me and gives me a penny, right? A penny. And I'm like, Eddie, I'm your boy, bro. Like, hook me up with the C note, right? Give me the C note. Because if you know Eddie, he's not going to go back and ask for that money back. That money is money in your hand. And I'm thinking, dude, like, hook me up with the C note. Like, what the? But I was doing a good job at that time in my life as a salesman, and they have big added bonuses for the first sale or whatever the case may be. So as the meeting's going on, I get called to the showroom floor to for an appointment. So I head out there and I grab my up. And, well, that's what we called them in the business. They weren't customers, they were ups, right? So I go out there and I start working this deal and I miss out on the meeting. So the meeting's still going on. I'm trying to sell the car. And I could not sell this woman a car to save my life. I tried, and she really wanted to buy a car, but she owed more money on her trade than it was worth. In the car business, they call that being upside down. She was, as they say, buried in this car. I tried I could not sell her a car, and I tried and tried, and the noon came, the spiffs were gone, she leaves, and I walked up into the sales tower, and I took the penny out of my pocket, and I whipped it at Eddie, and I was like, take that penny back, it's a bad luck penny. And I thought it a little peculiar at the time, but didn't think much. He kind of scrambled for it, I'm like, yeah, really, you're going to scramble for a penny, not thinking much about it. So later in the evening, as we're getting ready to close down the dealership, I see the crew up there and they're laughing and they're joking. And so I go up there and I'm like, hey, what's going on? And they're like, well, the joke's on you. And I'm like, how's the joke on me? And they're like, that bad luck penny? It was like a $500 rare collector's penny. And the point of the meeting that I missed out on was Eddie wanted to get salespeople to focus on what was going on in front of them, to take a hard look at the customer, at the deal, and not get distracted by anything that sales go, that salesman's got a better looking customer with a better looking trade, or whatever the case. Don't worry about that. Put the blinders on and focus on what you have in front of you. And you know what? Not for one brief second, not 1 millisecond did I take the time to look at that penny and see what it was before I threw it back to him. So it was a very poignant story, an experience in my life. And just a quick ending to that one. Come to find out, Eddie was the one that sold her the car 5 years ago, but he did such a good job, she couldn't even trade the thing in. It was on a lease. So, not only did he take back my $500 penny, but he sold her the car that I couldn't get her out of. And unfortunately, the great Eddie K-Bash passed away some years ago, broke my heart. I miss him to death. And we remained friends right up into that time. And I would often ask for that penny back. And he said, well, I still don't think you've learned your lesson. And hopefully I'm getting to that point and Eddie's looking down on me, and maybe that penny will show up one of these days. So the point of this part 2 is that while I was there face down in the creek, making peace with my life, preparing myself to meet my maker, I thought of that story. I thought about that penny story, and I thought it was reflective of my life and the fact that I didn't really look at my life and the value of my life all the time. So often I was caught up looking at other people's lives or wanting more, whatever the case may be, but not focusing on the blessings of what I had in my life to be alive, to enjoy the blessing of existence. It just didn't even occur to me. And there I was dying. The penny story came to my mind, and I was like, you know what? Eddie was right. It wasn't just the penny, it was my life. And while I had it, I didn't appreciate it. So I try as I might to appreciate my life. I really try hard to live in the light and, crack a smile and laugh and bring joy into people's lives. And maybe, facing that near-death experience, facing that dark moment in my life brought the light about. So yeah, there's that story, and I just wanted to share it and, encourage everyone to, not worry about what everyone else has, Don't worry. Focus on what you have. Focus on the blessings. And a very wise friend of mine, Gino, always used to tell me, he's like, in the difficult times, the blessings are the most challenging to see. But when seen with the right eyes, through the right heart, the blessings are always there. And for me, when I focus on the blessings, the more blessings I see. So I appreciate you watching this video, sticking through with me on part 2. And I hope you can enjoy your life and focus on the blessings. And please, if you enjoyed this video, like it, share, subscribe, whatever people do with these videos. And thanks again for spending some time with me. Until the next time, take care, focus on the blessings, and may you be well.